Hello everyone and welcome back. We have some new 4.2 Datamines and leaks to go over. We have some video that we're going to check out, some pictures of a couple of things, and we have some text to go over in regards to some new stuff you'll be able to get in that. So this is going to be a spoiler video, so just so you're aware, there's your spoiler warning. So let's go ahead and jump into the leaks. And right before we do, I will remind you about my Greycat MTC giveaway that I'm doing right now. I will be doing the drawing for that probably on Tuesday, the last day of Invictus. That'll just be part of one of my videos on that day. We'll do that drawing. So all you need to do to be entered for that is leave a comment under the video that I have linked in this video's description, and you will automatically be entered to win that. And then if you do happen to win, you just need to be able to contact me via Discord so that I can verify that you are who you say you are. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get straight into the leaks. Alrighty, so we have, I believe, 4 different videos to go through. We're not going to watch everything from all these little clips, but we have some footage of, this is leaks from Evocati, of going to one of the new locations on Pyro 1. So there's a outer location that then is there's a shuttle station that takes you to the inner location, so we'll take a look at that. We'll take a look at, there's some other information on some of the insides, probably at the inner location you get to on that shuttle. And then we also have some footage of an irradiated adult Valacar at one of these facilities. It looks really cool, and I'm very scared to see the Apex Valacar once that's in. But let's go ahead. We're going to go through a couple of different little parts of this, and I'll just show you kind of a basic rundown of what we have here. All right, so here is the transport hub. You'll see the shuttle show up here in just a second or two. There's these sort of gates, sort of big post things you can see up in the background there that these shuttles travel along. I don't know if that's something that protects them from the storm so they don't get shot down like ships do, or if, it's just kind of, they just survive for some reason. But that is the shuttle you are going to take to get to the inner location. As far as I know, I don't know if there's more than one inner location. We don't know. I don't know 100% on that yet. You may be able to see closely down there. It's probably a little bit small, but it looks like at these locations, there are actually Atlas ICTs around, the ones that have the guns on them. So you can find them in these locations, and you can use them for getting Valacar, all sorts of things like that. So that's the first one. Now let's take a look at actually riding that shuttle into the new location. So here we can see the shuttle. It looks basically just like a reskinned version of the Crusader shuttles. Just with some of the associated science and development branding and stuff like that. But you can see this will take you through the storm. Very ominous. You can hear the rain pattering on the inside of the shuttle there. All sorts of lightning and thunder all going around. It looks really cool. And again, as far as I know, you are not able to get to this location by ship or by ground vehicle, at least at the moment. Only by this shuttle. So that does make things a little bit of a bottleneck and will probably complicate getting here once it's actually live. We'll have to see how it officially ends up being, but very interesting. And now you can see here we're pulling into the location. It seems the shuttle ride is maybe a minute and a half or so, so it's not terribly long. But we can see this is our research facility. There's sirens blaring you might be able to hear in the background. But this is going to be, I think, where you get the irradiated Valacar eggs. I'm not 100% on that yet, but I think that's what this possibly is. So then that was kind of how you get to the location. Now this is, the next video that I have is entering the Lazarus complex. So again, I'm not 100% sure if this is that shuttle place you were at, or if this is once you actually get to where the eggs are. I would guess it's probably where the shuttle takes you that this is going to show. So we're just going to watch through this. It's about a minute, but it'll showcase the new door scanner tech, how it scans your loadout to make sure you're wearing the right stuff, and then show some of the new items, the new eggs, and some cool new stuff like that.
This facility is not currently in operation. Unauthorized access is strictly forbidden. This facility is not currently in operation. Unauthorized access is strictly forbidden. This facility is not currently in operation. Unauthorized access is strictly forbidden.
So again, quite a cool area here. There's a couple little things I noticed. So it looks like there are 4 total areas where there's these incubation units where there could be the Valacar eggs. If we go to where he actually looks at them, it looks like you need a key card. So we can come up here. We can see there is a key card required little thing there. So there's probably a key card you get either here or potentially at another location that then you have to bring here to actually access the egg. And again, from what we understand so far, it seems like the egg is then used as sort of a summoning item, I guess you could call it, for potentially the Apex Irradiated Valacar. So very, very fascinating. These are definitely going to be fought over because the Valacar, as we'll see later, there are some new trades with Wikelo and stuff that involve Valacar items, including Apex Valacar items. So again, we'll talk about that in a few minutes. So this will probably be very contested, very, very heavy PvP zone, PvE. There's going to be lots of NPCs, I'm sure. You'll be fighting over to get these different things. And I don't think we even actually know everything that's going to be part of this event still. So there is still more to be discovered in future patches. Hopefully it'll go to Wave 1 this week and we'll actually be able to check it out. But that is this video. And then last, let's go ahead and take a look at the irradiated, not Apex, the irradiated adult Valacar that someone found around one of these complexes. Okay, so here's the video. I'm just going to let it play for, I don't know, 20, 30 seconds or something, just so you can kind of see it, see kind of what it does, and then we'll talk about it a little bit. So there we go. You can kind of see the adult irradiated Valacar there. Again, these are, you might be able to see it. I definitely could tell immediately. These are significantly larger than the juvenile Valacar that we already have. Like a juvenile Valacar really are only a little bit taller than the player, and this is easily 2 to 3 times as tall as the player. A lot just, you know, larger. So this will probably be a lot tougher to take down. Probably, again, a good reason to bring along an Atlas Icti or find one of the sites to use. You can probably take it down pretty easily with that. They have a melee attack, as you just saw there. They have the ranged attack with a radioactive saliva, which when he got hit with it, it seemed to give a tier 3 injury immediately, but it didn't actually appear to do that much overall damage to his health. So maybe those the irradiated saliva attacks just have a really high chance of giving you just like a tier 3 injury or whatever, but just don't do that much overall damage. Not entirely sure. But that is a first look at the Apex, or not the Apex, the adult irradiated Valacar. We'll, of course, probably see more of them. Maybe they move around. Other behaviors they might exhibit, so we'll just have to see what we get. But again, that is going to do it for the video little things that we have to go over. So now let's go over some new text information. And there's a lot of really interesting stuff there, again, regarding Wikelo. Some of I think it's the text that will be on the new loading screen and some other random things. So let's go ahead and talk about that. All right, so next, let's go over some of the tech stuff that we have. So first, we'll go over what appears to be what the graphics will be for a few new of the little hologram things that are at Wikelo's that kind of show you like the different trades you can do with him. There are 4 new ones now. There, of course, might be more that we get. We'll have to see. But let's go ahead and go over them. So I'll throw it up here on the screen for you. First, we have Make Glowy Armor. You want this? You will give 1 Anna armor set, and then 1 Irradiated Valacar Pearl, and 3 Apex irradiated Valakar fangs. So if that doesn't confirm that we're getting the Apex in this patch, I don't know what else does. So you're going to want fangs from the Apex for this trade and an irradiated Valakar Pearl. That doesn't seem to indicate a specific size, although the only ones that we've at least seen so far that have the pearls is also the Apex. So I don't know if maybe the adults would have it as well. We'll have to see, but that will probably be a pretty tricky trade to do because you have to get all those things. And if it's the same way that they showed in the CitizenCon demo when they showed fighting the Valakar, those fangs are big, and I don't think they'd fit in your backpack, so you're going to have some way to get them out of there. So then, yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see how they end up making it so we can do that. But very, very interesting with that one. The next we have Make Prism Shotgun Angrier. So for this, you need a Prism Shotgun as the base weapon, 5 adult irradiated Valakar fangs, so even more than the armor, and then you need 20 juvenile irradiated Valakar fangs, and 10 irradiated Copian horns. Now, I have not seen irradiated Copians anywhere, but they might be around these complexes as well. So you need a whole bunch of materials, but with that, you can get a new version of the shotgun. I assume it's just with like a skin on it. We'll have to look. I think there might be, when we go over some Datamine text and stuff, I think there's some Wikelo information that might indicate a little bit better on this, so we'll take a little bit more of a look at that in a minute. And then the last two are very interesting. So first, we have Make Atlas Shoot. For that, you need to give him an Atlas, which I don't know if you would do like you give him like an Atlas you bought in game and it will turn to that, or maybe you go get one of the ones you could find at like the Hathor sites or things like that, bring that to him. But you give him an Atlas and a 1 NN13 cannon. I believe those are weapons that can only be found in the contested zones. I have seen them in, I think it's Obituary that has the hanger at the end of the contested zone. Those are some weapons that can spawn there, and I believe sometimes you get the NN cannons. So you'll need one of those. So that will give you just an Atlas Ikti as far as I know. And then there's another one that is Make Jumpy Atlas Shoot. So for this, you need an Atlas Ikti, an Atlas Geo, and another NN13 cannon, and 10 Wikelo favors. And I think that will make it so you have the guns of the Atlas Ikti, but you also have the jump pack capabilities of the Atlas Geo. That'll be really, really nice to have, and that's really good that they give you an option with Wikelo to be able to get it in this way. Whether or not they'll sell it, who knows, we'll have to see. I wouldn't put it past them. Maybe they'll only sell the one that just has guns and it doesn't have the backpack. And so if you want the backpack or the jump jets, you have to do it like this way through Wikelo. So that'll be very interesting. But let me know your thoughts on that in the comments. Do you think this is a good way to do it? Do you think maybe there's like some sort of trade-off? Like if you get the jumpy one, will it lose something? Maybe it, because of the extra power that takes, maybe it doesn't get as many shots on the guns. I don't know. Let me know what you think about that in the comments. All right, so now we're going to get into the more text sections that we have from Datamines. Now, the first thing we're going to go over is the text that's going to be in apparently the new like loading screen, the splash screen you get when you load in that gives you like some news and information. I'm not going to read everything in there. I will throw it up on the screen for you, or I'll try to. So if you want to, you can pause the video and read it for yourself. The big things here is there's like some lore stuff about talking about how the Polarises were stolen for the Hunt the Polaris mission and all that sort of thing. The big thing, there's like a little nod to probably what'll be like Alien Week that we'll get during this patch potentially. We also have invasive species getting worse down at the bottom. This is probably hinting, of course, to the irradiated Copian, the Valakar. It says a new report from the ECES shows invasive populations skyrocketing, dangerous mutations on the rise. And then the last thing, which maybe this is in relation to like the next patch after 4.2, it says, does rare gene hold secret to regen? New study claims that a gene carried by less than 10% of the population may be the key to successful imprints. So whether or not that's actually going to be relevant to the game, and, you know, again, a subsequent patch, we'll have to see. But those are the most notable things I saw in this section. So then let's go ahead and let's talk about some other very interesting stuff that we have that was data mined. All right, so first we have some items. This is new Wikelo Rewards. We have items, we have Atlas paints and upgrades, we have ships, and then there's some other information about the shotgun, some new shotgun skins, and a few other bits and bobs. So first for the items, we have the Volt Prism Irradiated Shotgun, which is probably the one that I mentioned in the little graphic there of the Wikelo Rewards. This is probably what you get. It's a irradiated edition that features a Valakar spraying its toxic venom. I will say that what I'm seeing, like for the price of the stuff you have to give Wikelo for that, seems a little bit steep just for getting like a little cool skin on it. So I don't know. Maybe the Valakar fangs are really easy to get. We'll have to see. So we have that, and we also have an glowy armor. No particular information of what armor this is meant for, but it's likely another variant of the Antium armor. Here's Wikelo's mission description. Wikelo had exciting idea during brief work rest. Was thinking about the little glowworms in Pyro and saw armor get changed to look like. If you get me parts, bring to Wikelo and we'll make for you. Then you can glow too. Bye. So again, probably just an Antium armor variant. Maybe it'll have some Valakar fangs on it or something, and it will glow. Maybe green, something like that. So just another armor thing. Maybe that'll be used in some of the other trades. We'll have to see. All right, the next we have some Atlas paints and upgrades. So it seems like if these are unique paints from Wikelo you get specifically, and then there's also the upgrades. So first we have the Atlas Cool Metal. Wikelo give deep red and green colors to make Atlas legs look like they cooling from heat. Very pretty. So that seems like it only applies to the legs, from what it says. So that maybe one of these other ones, it goes to the arms or the rest of the body. Let's see. Next, we have Atlas Snowland. Wikelo travel to one human planet and find very cold, but very pretty. This reminds of that, so it's probably like a white skin, I would guess. Then we have Atlas Orange Line. Many human workplace have orange color there. Must mean work to you. This suit does work. Makes sense. And then we have the mention again of the Atlas ICT that can be made by turning in an Atlas and an NN13 cannon. Has two guns. From what we know, they look like a Badger or a Panther repeater, but they are apparently like a size 0 bespoke repeater. So they're not super duper strong. But they just kind of look the same as the series of laser repeaters. And then we have the Atlas ICT Geo, quote unquote. A variant of the ICT that can be made using an already made ICT, another NN13 cannon, an Atlas Geo, and 10 Wikelo favors, has a jump pack. Again, I think that could be really useful. We'll again have to see if there's any downside to having that. Again, maybe have reduced capacitor on the guns, or there's some other downside to it. All right, the next we have the new list of ships that will be coming to Wikelo's Emporium that you'd be able to get as part of the missions. I do think there's a bit they could do to improve that. Like if you want a specific ship, it'd be nice to just be able to select that specific one for like a mission instead of having it be randomized, but we'll see what they do. But for the new ships, first we have the Anvil F7 Hornet. I don't see any specification if this is the Mark 1 or the Mark 2, if it's the F7A, the F7C, don't know. But the description is just, hello, I, Wikelo, made change to ship. Already impressive, yes, but made more so. Next, we have the Misk Fortune. And that description is, hello, I, Wikelo, you like to find things to make other things. Me too. This ship, very good for that. Wikelo make a little bit better. So that'll probably just be, of course, some extra components and the nice skin on it. Nothing too crazy there. And then we have the Mirai Guardian QI. Wikelo likes ship very much. Had to get in and play around with it. Add parts to make even more useful. Enjoy. So I know that I believe the Mirai Guardian is already in the pool of ships you can get for Wikelo, but now the Guardian QI is getting added. I would like to see those ships hopefully sooner rather than later get added to the actual in-game shops so you can just buy them normally. We didn't get any new ones with 4.1.1, so hopefully we get a good amount of new ships for the in-game shops in 4.2. The next we have 3 ground vehicles. We have first the Mirai Pulse. Wikelo spent many beats on planet Go Fast. Make some changes so you go fast too. You will like. I do wonder if that would potentially come with, because there's not a whole lot of different size 0 components. So maybe that's possible that gets some added bonuses, like it's a little bit faster, a little bit more maneuverable. We'll have to see. It'd be cool if it's like that, but I'm sure that'll also have a nice skin on it. And then we also have the RSI Ursa Medevac. Wikelo here, made change here. Add parts to give a little more use. Hope you like. And then finally, we have the Aopua, I think that's how you say it, the Nox. Wikelo have many friends that are Xion. Really enjoy how they build, but I add my build to it. Very pretty. Floaty too. So again, looks like we have 3 new ships and 3 ground vehicles. 2 of them are hover bikes. So maybe there's more that are coming, but at least 6 new ships/vehicles that'll be added to Wikelo's pool of different ships that you can get by trading things for favors and all that sort of good stuff. All right, so then next we do have a little bit of information on the Prism shotgun, the Volt Prism shotgun. So I have went over this a little bit before, but we do have according to this, the battery size for the shotgun is 10, your rate of fire is 120 RPM, and the effective range is only 10 meters. So this is going to be a very close quarters weapon, just like the Volt SMG. One interesting thing that I noticed is for attachments, it does actually say it has a size 3 barrel attachment. Now, as far as I know, I do not believe that you can put any barrel attachments on the Volt rifle or the Volt SMG. So this would be the first Volt weapon that can have a barrel attachment, but it is size 3. So you could probably, there's some compensators, flash hiders, suppressors possibly you could put on there, and that would potentially help the performance of it. You have a size 1 optic and a size 2 underbarrel slot as well. And then again, the description of it is engineers at Verified Off-Road Laser Technologies have incorporated cutting-edge laser research directly into their distinct Prism laser shotgun. This weapon is notable for its ability to fire lasers that will refract off surfaces to provide new targeting angles into entrenched opponents. So again, if that has that actual functionality when it's introduced, that is going to be very, very interesting and to see how it affects FPS engagements, especially in close quarters combat. So I'm very excited to find this. I have heard that it's supposed to be at some of these new locations on Pyro 1, maybe on Pyro 4 as well. There's new locations and maybe some other places as well. So really looking forward to finding that and testing it out. Alrighty, and then we have some information on Prism shotgun skins. So we have the Prism Irradiated Laser Shotgun. That's a Prism IR shotgun. That's from Wikelo. That's the new version that you can get from him that has, I think it said the irradiated Valacar on the side, sort of a little glowy skin for that potentially. Then we have the Prism Hazard Laser Shotgun. That is for the Pledge store apparently, so that might be a sub flare or something like that. I don't know. Or in like a little gear pack. The Hazard Edition is safety yellow with diagonal black stripes. And then we have 3 versions that you should be able to just find in game. We have the Prism Bone Dust Laser Shotgun. This is the Bone Dust Edition is tan with violet and blue highlights. Then we have the Prism Deep Sea Laser Shotgun. That is, the Deep Sea Edition is mostly black with dark blue highlights. And finally, we have the Prism Firesteel Shotgun. The Firesteel Edition consists of a gray base color with red highlights. So potentially some really interesting skins to collect. I'm always a sucker for like the blacked out skins on guns. Like I love the black Volt SMG and like the black P8AR. Those things are so nice. So looking forward to always collecting more skins and more variations of any gun and all the new guns that we're getting as well. All right, and we're down to our last couple of little random things here. First, apparently you will now be able to trade irradiated worm parts for Wikelo favors. Now, I did also hear that you should, it sounded like you can also use the mercenary scripts and the council scripts still to get favors, so you can still get them that way, but there is an additional, like a third way to get them with irradiated worm parts, so whether that's fangs or pearls or something else, we don't know, but it sounds like there will be some new way to get favors from this new sandbox activity that they are introducing with this patch. And then apparently the Apex Valacar is it's implemented in a similar way that the adult Valacar is in, but I have not seen anything of it, any video or anything, so maybe it might just not be to the point that they've put stuff in that you can actually summon it. There might be more to the event you have to do to go to that point, so we'll have to see if we get some of that. Again, hopefully go into Wave 1 P2. I'm thinking probably this week, so potentially if it happens then, we'll be able to take a much better look at that. And then finally, apparently, the Prowler's interior has been updated for full engineering support, as well as some component changes, so it should have fully accessible components. Might have some fuses now, maybe an engineering terminal. We'll have to see. I'm not super familiar with the Prowler. I know it's really expensive in-game and on the Pledge Store. But so there might be some adjustments there. Again, they're continuing to adjust ships for engineering. We're getting closer to that. We've seen it in the progress tracker. I would not be surprised again if we get a tech preview for it in potentially June and see it in the game maybe in July or August. So interesting to see what further changes we'll see to other ships as we get closer to that. But that is everything that we have for now. Again, quite a good batch of new Datamine information and leaks. Again, let me know all of your thoughts on what we talked about today in the comments, on the videos, any of the tech stuff, the new weapons, new ships and stuff that you can get from Wikelo. I'd love to hear what you think about it. What thing do you think you're looking forward to most about the patch so far? What else do you hope to see as part of it? And again, just a reminder of the giveaway I'm doing. You just need to leave a comment under the video that I have linked in this description, and you'll automatically be entered for that. But that's going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed it, feel free to leave a like, as it really helps the channel. Feel free to subscribe as well to see more Star Citizen news videos and ship reviews, all those sorts of things. And until next time, I will see you in the verse.